The Cursed Herbs Call, The Spirit Beneath the Dark Well. Part 12, The Final Night at the Dark Well. After the steel hatch had been opened, no one dared go near the old skylight again. Edward carefully lowered the heavy cover back into place, but this time, he did not seal it shut. Noah's little red toy car and his mother's red thread bracelet were placed upon a small temporary altar. The entire house felt unbearably heavy that day. Even the air seemed difficult to breathe. Ethan was different, too. He didn't laugh. He didn't run around. Instead, he sat quietly, staring toward the end of the hallway. Every so often, he whispered softly, "Wait, tonight. You'll go home with Mommy." Those words frightened Lily so badly, she couldn't stop crying. Edward felt the same uneasy dread, deep inside. He knew something would happen tonight. Just as he feared, the rain returned shortly before midnight. Wind screamed across the metal roof, creating eerie sounds that echoed through the house. Around 1 o'clock in the morning, Edward suddenly awoke. Tap, tap, footsteps. The footsteps had returned. Once again, they paced across the roof. But this time, there were two sets. One heavy, one light. Tap, tap. They circled above the old skylight, then suddenly stopped. Silence swallowed the house. Then, Ethan, Lily's terrified scream shattered the night. Edward leaped from his bed. He rushed into the hallway. The bedroom door stood wide open. Inside, no one. Lily, no answer. He ran toward the back of the house. Then he froze. Lightning flashed outside. For a split second, he saw Ethan standing alone before the steel hatch. His back faced Edward. Lily stood several feet away, shaking uncontrollably. I woke up, and he had already walked out by himself. Edward slowly stepped closer. Ethan, the little boy, didn't answer. Instead, he slowly raised one hand and placed it upon the steel hatch. Then he whispered, "He's here." The instant those words left his mouth, knock. A violent bang erupted from beneath the hatch. Knock, knock. The pounding grew louder, as though someone beneath the well was desperately trying to climb out. The steel plate trembled. Lily burst into tears. "Please, take my son away." But at that moment, Ethan slowly turned around. His eyes had become completely black once again. His face showed no emotion. Then he spoke. "Open it." The voice wasn't Ethan's. It belonged to a grown man. Hoarse, broken. As though his throat had been slashed open. It was Daniel. Crack. A bolt of lightning split the sky. The lights instantly went out. The hallway plunged into darkness. Only flashes of lightning lit the house. Then, creak, the steel hatch began to move. Edward's heart nearly stopped. No one touched it, yet it slowly slid aside on its own. Creak, creak, a narrow black opening appeared. An icy breath rose from below, cold enough to numb their skin. Then, giggle. A child's laughter echoed from the darkness. Moments later, a tiny pale hand reached upward. It gripped the edge of the opening. Then another. A small head slowly emerged. A little boy, wearing a faded blue shirt. His skin was ghostly white. His wet hair clung to his forehead. His eyes were completely black. Slowly, he climbed out of the well. Behind him, another hand appeared, much larger, covered in dried blood. A man dragged himself upward. His throat had been ripped open. Dark blood streamed down his chest. "Daniel, Lily screamed. Edward pulled her backward. Even so, his own legs trembled uncontrollably. The little boy stood beside the well. He looked around the house, then quietly whispered, "Mom." His voice was soft, heartbroken. Nothing like the terrifying laughter from before. He took one slow step forward. "Mom," for reasons she couldn't explain. Tears poured down Lily's face. It felt as though she were watching a real child, desperately searching for his mother. Daniel simply stood behind him. His empty eyes never left Ethan. Suddenly, Ethan stepped forward. He opened his arms. "Brother Noah." The ghostly child slowly looked up. The two boys stared at one another. Then, Noah burst into tears. "I miss my mommy." The simple words froze everyone in place. Edward clenched his fists. At last, he understood. For 2 long years, Noah had never wanted to hurt anyone. He had only been lonely. He had only wanted to find his mother, because he was still just a child. His sorrow had unknowingly brought terror to everyone around him. Edward slowly stepped forward. He placed the red bracelet in the little toy car. On the floor before Noah. "Noah," his voice trembled. "These belong to you." The little boy looked down. The darkness faded from his eyes. He picked up the toy car, hugged it tightly against his chest, and smiled. For the first time, it was the smile of an ordinary child. "Thank you." A gentle breeze drifted through the hallway. It was no longer cold. But then, Daniel let out a deep, guttural growl. He lunged toward Ethan. Edward immediately stepped in front of the boy. "No!" Daniel stopped. Hatred burned inside his lifeless eyes. His blood-covered hand slowly pointed toward Ethan, as though he wanted to take the child with him. Then, Noah quietly turned around. "Brother Daniel." His tiny voice echoed through the hallway. Daniel slowly looked down. "Don't stay here anymore." Noah reached out and gently took the bloody hand. "Come with me." Silence filled the house. Daniel remained motionless for a very long time. Then, a single drop of dark red blood slid from the corner of his eye. He lowered his head, looked at the little boy. Finally, he gave a slow nod. A powerful wind swept through the house. Lightning flashed one final time. When everyone opened their eyes, the two spirits were standing beside the old well. Noah turned back. He smiled. "Goodbye." Then, both figures slowly dissolved, like wisps of mist. They disappeared into the night. Outside, the rain stopped. The house fell completely silent. A peaceful silence, unlike any it had known before. The next morning, Edward rebuilt the old skylight. But this time, he did not seal it shut. Instead, he left a small opening, so that sunlight could always reach the well below. Beside it, he placed a flower pot and a brand new toy car. From that night on, no one ever heard footsteps on the roof again. No one heard knocking at the window, and no one ever whispered. The thief fell and died. Even today, the elderly people living at the end of the lane still tell one story. They say that on nights of heavy rain, if someone stands quietly outside the old house long enough, they may hear the faint laughter of a little child. But it is no longer a frightening sound. It is the laughter of a child who finally found his way home.